Hey everybody, it's Glidercat and it's time to play. Let's get back into Foundry. Between the last episode and this episode, I had some homework to do and I did it. And it involved a lot of digging. So let's go take a look. Let's see, just to refresh memories here, we are in pursuit of steel beam production and we need the steel beams for all kinds of stuff. Let me show you one little thing I did while I'm over here by our Technum rods. I did build one thing. Let's see if I can find it. Where are we? Thought I did. Let's see. Where is it? Is it back here? Looking. I don't see it. Let's see. Thought. There it is. Oh, wow. I thought I loaded the wrong save or something. Yeah. So let's see. So I put this logistics container here to collect Technum rods. So that's one thing we've been kind of coming up short on. And when I do those digging episodes, a lot of this production just churns on in the background. And so rather than hopping over to that assembler every once in a while and grabbing 200, I just set up, sorry for all the jumping. I just set up a logistics container here and another loader to unload some of these Technum rods into storage so that we have them when we need them. While we're here, let's just take a look in our backpack. Got almost, I got almost 600, so I'm not going to grab more right now, but we've got them there if we need them. The other homework, let's take a look at the map, is I worked, you can see here on the map, the work I did. So anytime I dig out terrain, it looks like it shows up different on the map here. And I'm a little bit colorblind, so I'm not going to guess at what color that is because I can't tell you. But you can see all the digging I've done to kind of level us off a platform for our steel beam production. So let's go look at that. Take a look, orient myself with the map. While we're there, I got a few new subscribers between now and the previous episodes. I just want to thank everybody who is subscribing. It really does help support the channel and validates a little bit what I'm doing here. It's a small channel, trying to grow it, learning a lot, have lots of work to do. So you're going to, if you stick with me, you're going to see this evolve quite a bit. A lot more I need to do. Whoa, coming down the hill here. Let's just check the map, see where we're at. I just passed it. It is up here somewhere. And we'll see. Eventually, we'll get some daylight here, and it might be a little bit easier to appreciate the work that went into leveling this terrain. Let's go take a look here. South. Okay. Try and get up this hill. There's our conveyors coming in with, I believe, the what was it? Technoferrite, xenoferrite ingots. So there's our belt, and then all of this area here, I just created a platform for us. We may still want to dig down, or did I do that? No, we'll probably still want to dig down one more layer to lay our base blocks down, or our building blocks, and then have them kind of have the factory level with this conveyor. But I did a lot of digging here off camera so that we wouldn't have to spend time doing that. So this is where we got a fair amount of stuff to process. We need to process those xenoferrite ingots into, I believe, is it what is it? Let's see. Let's just go into the crafting menu and look. It's the steel ingots first. So xenoferrite ingots, and then they're going to go into steel ingots when we combine it with the ignium ore that we're going to route over here as well in this episode. And then we need to assemble the steel beams and then pipe that stuff out. So look here, we've got technium ingots. We haven't used that yet, or technum ingots. We haven't done that yet. Interesting. We'll see what those are used for. We've got technum rods tier 2. Okay, we've got these new materials that we're able to craft based on that research that we selected at the end of the last episode completing. So at the end, we did the smelting. And so that opened up these two things. We'll see how and where we use them. The other thing that we did kind of right towards the end was we did the kind of like the ore ping technology. Let's see if how would I use that? Let's see. Just looking to see if we've got a choice in here to detect that. Maybe I go straight to the map and there's something new. But this was the whole find and ore deposit. Let's see. If I click on G for the research, we've got a few more of these to do. So here's the xenoferrite map scan. And if we look at the tooltip or the pop-up that comes up for this guy, it says allows scanning for xenoferrite on the map, highlights ores on the surface and within the ground. So that might be cool. There could have been ore maybe closer to our main factory that we could have mined instead of going way out to get that new xenoferrite deposit and ignium ore. Let's take a look at the map. We did one of these already. I think we did this. We must have done the scan for the technum ore because I don't see that up here. And then ignium is going to be later. Let's bring up the map and see if we can figure this out. There it is, technum ore. So if I click on this, let's just see what we get. Boom. Check it out. What? Oh, okay. So it highlights the ore that we already know about, as well as some ore deposits that we did not know about. So there's xenoferrite, there's ignium. It turns out there's a big block of this that's, I'm guessing, at 28 meters above the floor of the map. So I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. Let's just scan around the map and see if there's any other. Yeah, there's some up here, or that's a new one. And these look like bigger. Well, that one I think we already knew about. That one's on the surface. But these subsurface ones, I'm guessing the ones that are vanishing when I turn off the scan, I'm guessing those are subsurface, and they sure look bigger. But it'd be cool if it showed how much ore was in it. I made that. I asked the developers just a while ago, I don't know, a couple days ago, if there was a way to see how much ore, total ore, is in a deposit, and they said they don't have that just yet, but that's something that they're looking at doing. Okay, this one says around 116 meters. And if we look at our compass here in the top left, you can see we're on top of a mountain that I kind of flattened, or some of it that I flattened, or a hill here, I guess, and it's showing that we're at 150, a height of 153. Again, you can see that in the top left kind of compass there in the middle. So I'm guessing if you get down to height 0, you're at the bottom of the world here, bottom of as deep as you can go. That's my guess. I don't know. Maybe you can go deeper. I'm not going to go digging down right now. Maybe we'll do that off camera, or I'll do an experiment and see how far we can go. But if we bring up the map and look at that ore one more time, you can see this one at a height of 28 is probably a lot deeper than this guy over here at 116. So that is that. Now we know what the ore scans do, and that is kind of handy to have. We do need to pick another research. Why don't we do that? And then we'll head over to our ignium ore and see if we can't route some conveyors over to this area where we are now. So let's see what we've got. We've got crafting speed. I'm not as keen on that. Lights, logistics container 2. Xenoferrite scan, that might be worth doing. And then I think once we get to the conveyor 3s, we need to have our third research lab up, which do we have a third research lab up? I can't remember. So yeah, I think for now, let's go. Let's see. Yeah, research lab 4. So yeah, we don't have our research lab 3 up yet. We need those steel beams in order to build it. So we can't really do this conveyor 3, or at least we can't craft them. And we're not using the conveyor 2s yet anyway. So let's go ahead and grab this xenoferrite map scan. That might be instantaneous. Boom. Again, we accumulated a lot of Science Pack 2s just while I was doing all this digging. It took a fair amount of time to get that done. And why don't we do... Yeah, these I'm just not as keen on. Let's see. This guy, Research Lab 2. Okay, we've got all the dependencies are met. Let's research that guy on the map. And that one got done. Character crafting speed, lights, conveyor, crusher. Can we do this? No. Build research lab 3 to finish this research. Crusher. A machine is mainly used for crushing or compressing materials. Not sure where we're going to use that. And then this stuff all comes later. Looks cool, but we can't really do much with it. I'm becoming a bigger fan of the mining drill speed because I do these off-camera drilling. Takes a bit of time, and that would speed it up. At some point, I thought there was a laser, right? We saw in the first look video when we were looking at the trailer for Foundry, it showed my little robot guy here shooting off a laser out of his mining drill. So at some point, we must get laser mining. There it is. Boom. Speak of the devil, a powerful mining laser that allows mining from a distance. Yeah, that would be helpful too. All right, let's go ahead and grab lights, and then we'll see what else that got done. Let's go ahead and just eat up some science packs while we're here. Character crafting speed, sure, I'll take it. I think that's the last thing I can really do. In fact, this one says Research Lab 3. Oh, but I've got that. I see. I have Research Lab 3 researched, but I don't have it built. So because I have it researched, I'm good to go ahead and do this one. Boom. All right. So now we've got to wait for some. Are those science pack ones? Wow, I'm shocked that we're short on science pack ones. Anyway, all right, that's that. That is our little recap. And so the plan for today is to continue working towards steel beams. And that means getting this work site up and operational. Let's pipe in our ignium ore. I'll look at the map, make sure I'm kind of facing the right way. I guess I could just use the compass too. That would help. We need to head east and a tiny bit north. So let's head on down. We may have to clear a little more terrain. I tried to clear a little path coming out from the ignium ore over this way to our main, I don't know, factory annex here where we're going to do the steel beams. But we'll see how effective I did. I think we're still going to have to do a little bit of leveling. Oh, yeah, I've got plenty of resource. Let me just check. I've got a good number of plates. What, 345? Because we're probably going to have to build some more sloped conveyors. I've got 25 on hand. That looks fine. All right, here we are. So this is our ignium ore installation. We've got a simple solar array set up. Got a few batteries. They are all charged because the drone miner is backed up. Now, a person pointed out in one of the earlier videos, but I didn't get to see it until I've already been filming several more. And they asked, why don't you put the drone miner on top of the ore? Like, why are you putting it on the land here? Or on, well, I guess I can't put it on top. I guess I can try to put some building blocks down and then slap the drone miner right on top of building blocks and building blocks right on top of the ore itself. We'll try that later. Let me get this routed. The next drone miner we lay down, remind me, and we will try and see if we can put it right smack dab in the middle or just overlapping with the ore. I think I read somewhere where it was saying, oh yeah, put this next to an ore deposit. And so that just stuck in my mind. So for this Let's Play series, I've just been putting it next to the ore deposit, but maybe it can go on top and have more coverage. So we'll check that out a little bit later. So yeah, here we go. We're going to head straight west towards our new facility on the steel beams. Sorry for that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and just start extending this belt. We're still using level 1 belts or conveyors. Ooh, that's as far as that guy can go. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like there's a limit to how many of these guys you can lay down at the same time, and it's not limited by how many you have in your inventory. There's just a certain amount it's going to let you build at a time. So we'll do this in segments. I'm just going to keep this guy floating, and then maybe later we'll come through and make it look a little nicer. Maybe put some supports underneath or even throw some dirt blocks underneath. All right, let's go ahead and pop our, whoops, guess what I didn't do? I didn't set the direction. So let's drop down this guy again. Again, all I got to do is right click and then drag over to the direction you want. Boom. Okay, now we're going to come into some trees that I didn't clear. As you get further away from the deposit, it's hard to tell if you're lined up. Okay, we've got another slope here. Boom. Nothing to it, but to do it, let me check the map, make sure I'm not going right past my place. I got a little more room to go. Let's go and let's clear out some of these trees that are in the way. Boom. Boom. And kaboom. All right, that's that. More conveyor. I think that, did I miss that whole tree? No, there he is. Just took a while to disappear. Here we go. Here we go. We'll stop there and drill. And let's check the map real quick because I have a tendency to blow by where I'm going. A little ways left. And that tree is about to disappear. Let's see if I do it this direction, if it's any better. All right, we're floating. There and there. Now let's come down this hill and change the direction to down slope. Check the map. We're getting closer. I'm going to drill these trees out of the way. Boom. 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 All right, now we got to make a climb. And is that looks like, okay, we're coming up on it. That's the end of our belt of the xenoferrite ingots. So somehow we want to come up here. Let's extend out just a little bit further, and then we'll go run up and see what's the best way to come up this hill, or what direction do we want to come up here from. Use some stairs so I don't have to hop up this thing. But we'll do that again later in an aesthetics episode. Maybe once we get this little lab, I keep saying lab, but I don't know why. Once we get this part of the factory established, maybe we do an aesthetics episode, light up the solar array over at our main factory, and then just clean up some stuff. We might have another episode of doing that. And if you like that kind of stuff, you can watch it. And if you don't, you can skip it and you won't miss out on any of the other factory building activity. All right, let's just see. We came up, there's our ignium ore. Here is our xenoferrite ingots. We're probably going to take this back a bit. And we need to think about what we're going to craft first and what we're going to put up here. We're going to need room for solar. I could go up here, and instead of flattening this anymore, I could create a platform maybe on this level. Makes sense. Could fill this in a little bit, and then fill in over here if we need to, and maybe this becomes the solar power array for our factory down here on this big expanse. This is kind of a nice view of it. So yeah, let's reserve this upper area for solar, and we'll ladder up what we got to do later. That will not be this episode. So let's look at the crafting menu and just see what we need to do first to process these ingots into the steel ingots. Xenoferrite to steel, we just need ignium, and it requires the blast furnace. So yeah, we're gonna need a lot of solar power. All right, let's see. We're gonna need a blast furnace. Do I have one created? Let's go ahead and build one of those. Oh, good. I can build 9 of them. We're gonna start with 1, and then we'll scale up from there. And how again do we want to get that up here? Do we want to head over? Maybe head over this way and then come up here, maybe. Kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe like eventually you're going to come up this way. I'm going to get rid of that one and put it one more back. So I have room for a sloped conveyor, which I think takes 2 blocks. So I'm thinking we'll come up this way. We're going to need a lot of sloped conveyors up the hill, up the hill, up the hill, up the hill, up the hill. We'll come straight up this way. Boom. And then we're going to take that one back a bit. So yeah, that's going to take some effort. Let's go ahead and connect this up while we're at it. Actually, I can start from back here. It's a little easier to tell where we need to end up. And I'm going to let these conveyors float for now, but again, we'll clean it up maybe later and have it be a little more aesthetic looking. Or hey, maybe you like the floating conveyors. Let me know in the comments if you like the floating conveyors. I've been trying to think more about aesthetics as I play. Let's see, because it's not normal for me to give much thought to that. All right, now check this out. I need to take this guy out and pop that one down, and we should be good to go. And this guy is going to swing around and up the hill. Let's see, here we go. Boom. This is going to take a little time. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do a time lapse on this because it's going to be a little tedious to watch. So here we go. All right, we're back, and we've got our ignium ore up here ready to go. So let's see. Let's think about how we want to do this. Maybe we're probably gonna do another time lapse here in a second because I'm gonna drill down one more level to place our building blocks. But where do we want that first construction to be? Let's see. We need the blast furnace. That's the main dude. And we know that is kind of, was that slow? I can't remember if that was slow. We should be thinking about having room for at least two of these guys. All right, let's do another quick time lapse. I think we're going to put the blast furnaces here since that's the early part of the process. And then we'll expand into this area. And then if we need more space down the road, I can either blast this out or we can jump up a tier. But I think that's a better direction for expansion than trying to just create a big platform that's floating over all this. So let's do that. One more quick time lapse, and then we're getting close to the end of the episode. But let me drill out an area, a workspace for us. Here we go. All right, I'm back. That might be enough there just to lay down the blast furnace. Let's go ahead and cover this with our building blocks. I think I'm actually going to extend a little tiny bit over the edge. Maybe. Looks like I need to craft a few more blocks. Let's do that. Cool. All right, that looks about right where I want it. We're going to have to do more, expand this obviously, but thinking maybe if we can just get the initial get the initial blast furnace down and think about the layout a little bit. All right, let's go see if we can plop that guy down and what it's going to look like, how we want to orient that. It's a monster. All right. There's so many input output ports. The bigger, I guess, the bigger the machine, the more input output ports you get automatically, because it looks like the base of every machine is just made up of these input output ports. Let's see, how do we want to do this? We need to get the ore in. So our ore is over here. So I wonder if we should maybe orient it this way. Or do we want to run the ore? Like, let me hop off of that. Do we want to run the ore? Kind of run it around and then behind these machines? Maybe this becomes a bus of ignium and xenoferrite ingots, and then we can lay multiple blast furnaces down if we want to expand. That might make sense. Now it's going to involve turning these guys around a bit. And then we got to hop over each other. Like each line's going to have to hop over each other in order to feed the blast furnaces. Let's think about that for a second. This one we could easily just loop around and have a belt going kind of in this direction with, say, the xenoferrite ingots. And then I was thinking another belt, maybe two over of the ignium ore. And then I was thinking the blast furnaces, a row of blast furnaces that get fed by those two lines. But I'm just wondering, is it going to get hard to feed in that ore because the belts have to cross over each other? We do it that way. The other option I have is I could put, one belt going through the front of these things and one in front of the blast furnaces and one going behind the blast furnaces. But then you're always hopping over the belts to get to your control panels and stuff. Let's see. We got a little bit of time left in this episode. Let's just experiment. Let's go ahead and fill out the rest of this. And let's route this guy around the back here if we can. Let's just experiment with this a bit. So I may waste a little space doing this, but I just want to see how this might work. Can that guy loop around? Yeah. So I was thinking something like this, right? Have this ore run down the back and we can expand as far as we want to go. And then have I'll just drop one here so it illustrates what I'm thinking. Drop this monster like either this orientation, or we could go with this orientation and have the panels facing each other. I'm almost inclined to do it this way. But we need enough room for loaders. I don't think we'd ever need more than one loader feeding in here. Let's see. I'm going to have to come back over even more. Well, let's go over all the way as far as we can here for now. Let's pop a couple loaders on here and just see if we can make this work. So the idea, and I need splitters too. That's going to be a challenge. Just everything takes space. May have to push this out even further, right? Because this guy, I'll show you what I'm thinking here. This guy would be like this. Let's go ahead and craft a couple splitters if I don't already have them. I don't think I do. And what I'm calling a splitter is this conveyor distributor. Let's grab a couple of those real quick. And so maybe you can see already what I'm thinking. It would be come down here, split off some, and then feed a blast furnace. Continue on, split off, feed a blast furnace. Continue on, split off, feed a blast furnace. But it takes a lot of space to do that. We've got our loaders already in there. If we wanted to split this off, All right, bear with me here. Craft. I want this guy, and that's fine. I'll move everything back if I have to. So the idea was, okay, now I've got this split off, and this guy can go branch off and feed the blast furnace. And then this line can continue on to the next blast furnace. Oh, I know what we can do, just like we did last time, right? We can go underground. Let's try that. Let's try it. Let's try knocking these out. Have this guy go under. I think that's going to work. Whoops. I got to make the direction correct. Not quite. So, whoops. I just did it again. Sorry. All right. I'm going to fill in these two base blocks. I messed up. I'm going to right click and send this guy down and then rotate him over. Boom. Okay. So you've just gotten ready to feed that one. And then you need to stay underground until we get past the burner or the blast furnace. So down, or at least past this loader. Then you can make your way back up. Right click. I'm going to head up. Boom. And then I'm going to fall down the ledge here, or fall off the ledge. And we're going to do the same thing here with this belt. You're going to come through. We are going to split you. Let's go ahead and drop our other, again, what I call a splitter. It's a distributor. That can go right there, it looks to me. This guy can go there, and then we can flip this one that way. This one will keep on going. And check us out. We got it. We got it. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Right? Let me just scroll off my building items here so we have a nice clean cursor. So now we've got our ignium ore, or this looks like the xenoferrite ingots. We've got ignium ore, and they're both coming into the blast furnace. I don't have any power yet. That'll have to be next episode when we will set up the solar power array up here somewhere. And then we got to branch all the low voltage power network out. No power, so it's not going to let me do anything. Wonder, I could throw a burner on here just to see if this is going to work. Let's see. Do I have one? I think I do. Let's just drop a burner down here real quick. If I have biomass on me, and we'll just have a little bit of fun real quick and see if we can get the blast furnace working. I'm not sure a burner can even supply enough energy for one of these guys, but let's just do it for giggles. It's steel ingots. That's what we want to produce. Boom. Let's see if he has enough power to do it. Power strained. Yeah, I think it's going to need more power than this guy can put out. Let's see if it does anything. I did take the inventory. It allowed me to at least fire up the control panel and see that it is going to work once we power it up, once we get enough power. Yeah, okay, so we just learned you cannot run a blast furnace off one of these little biomass burners. And it doesn't really accumulate the power, it doesn't look like. Let's see what this guy says. Biomass generator, 0 kilojoules. Why would that not be producing? It might just be... Yeah, I don't know. It seems like he should be sending some power down. Let's see. This guy. Yeah, it's just not... I'm guessing it's just not enough. Anyway, let's wrap this episode here. That was just kind of an experiment. Um, but yeah, look, we're getting there now. We've got our ignium ore routed over here. And we've got the start of another factory here to produce our steel beams. This is our first blast furnace that's going to create the, what was those? I always forget what that's called. The steel ingots. Is that right? Yeah, the steel ingots. And then all we need are assemblers to turn those ingots into steel beams. So we'll probably maybe come out this way, expand our building blocks and our base, and then put an assembler or two over here with the to make our steel beams. And then if we look at the map, we're going to route those guys. Oh man, over this big hill. Yeah, we're going to have to route these guys out of here some way. So we'll figure out a good way to do that. We'll have to think about that before we lay down our solar array, because we were thinking right up here would be a good spot for the solar array. But we do have to make our way back in this direction to get to town, or to get to our main factory, which we can see there off in the distance. Cool. Well, let's wrap this one up here. Yeah, we're not too far away from the main factory. Let's just extend that power grid all the way over here. No, I don't think we're going to do that. But yeah, made good progress today. We will make good progress in the next episode. So for now, this is Glidercat signing off, saying thanks again so much for watching. Really appreciate the views and the support that you guys have shown for this series in particular. And I will see you in the next one.